Hey, it's Nick Mulo, and that's MetCat, coming at you live, pre-recorded from the second official GameCat meetup. You know, I was nervous meeting MetCat in real life, but he's a totally normal guy. Right, MetCat?
Right.
Right, MetCat. Well, I just woke up in MetCat's trunk, I think. Enjoy your takeover, but afterwards, maybe send help?
This is PSVR Gamescast Live, where we film live every Tuesday afternoon and bring it to you as PSVR Gamescast Live on YouTube. That's a live stream, but this is the pre-recorded version. This is totally different, but we still call it live because I can't come up with a better name. Every Wednesday is Viewer Takeover, when we let you, the loyal Gamecats. You're always a little late.
I'm always
Always a little late.
At least I'm in the right direction this time.
Jeremy's always a little late. You don't know that because we start.
Yeah.
When we let you, the loyal Gamecats, bring our takeover the show. As always, my name is Brian Paul, and something wicked this way comes right here in the middle is Ezra. Hello. And to my far right, your normal left, it's the Sofa King himself, killing it on part 2 of Resident Evil 7 livestream.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Sofa King himself, it's Jeremy King.
Now, I haven't been keeping up. Have you gotten to the front door yet?
I'm actually in. Yes, and actually where we ended last night,
2 nights ago.
2 nights ago, is all new from here on. I don't know anything from here on.
That's exciting. There were people in the comments, even though the comments were busted, there were people in the comments going, when is the mark? When's the line? When he doesn't know what's happening anymore.
Oh.
Which was nice. It was nice that you didn't remember the things that were going on already.
Yeah.
I played it 3 times, and I still don't remember.
Yeah. No, I'm so terrified. It was scary without the chat.
All right, so first of all, we want to thank MetCat and Nick Mulo for that fantastic, amazing, ridiculous, over-the-top viewer takeover introduction.
Yes.
This is the second official GameCat meetup.
Wow.
We're going to have to be part of one of these at some point.
know.
We should probably sponsor one at this point.
We really, maybe not sponsor, but
we
we
just
should
have one.
encourage people to come this way.
I get the impression the GameCats can drink.
Yeah.
I'm not sponsoring
No,
shit.
yes, not sponsors and financially, as in like, oh yeah, come hang out at this place and we'll be there too.
Yeah. I'm such a lightweight.
Come hang out at my apartment. I'm always here.
Yeah.
It's the eternal meetup.
That's true.
So thank you guys so
done.
much for scripting that, for doing that, I can't believe Nick trusted MetCat, enough to sit in his trunk.
Turn his back on him.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much. That was an awesome viewer takeover introduction. If you want to introduce next week's viewer takeover introduction, that's not right. Send your short, sweet, sexy, mostly clothed introduction to withoutparole@gmail.com. And as Jeremy always says, if it doesn't fit in our inbox, consider yourself lucky.
Very lucky.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, but we want to thank more people because that's what we do here.
Yes.
We want to thank some people that changed their name to GameCat. And of course, GameCats are the loyal following of the Without Parole YouTube channel. Desiree, you want to take it away?
Yeah, this week. So these are people who actually changed their name to GameCat, which is still
legally binding document.
Yes.
Now it says it on their driver's license and birth certificates.
Yeah, there's a little paw next to the star when they go to renew their license.
Instead of fingerprints,
organ donor,
claw marks.
GameCat.
Organ donor, GameCat.
Yeah.
We have Triple Dad 65, the GameCat.
I mean, bing. Bing. Forgot how this works.
Gun Fart, the GameCat.
I love that. What do you think a gun fart? Is that a sound the gun makes when there's no more bullets left? It's like toom, toom, toom.
I can't imagine it's a good thing.
Probably not.
No.
Okay.
Witch Lover, the GameCat.
Hey, all right.
Okay. I like witches.
There's going to be a song there.
Like Beastmaster, cut off their heads, and those witches had some pretty tight bodies.
This is a movie, yeah?
Oh, Beastmaster, yeah, with the ferrets.
Classic with Mark Singer. And the ferrets.
Yes.
Poto and Poto and Koto or something like
My
that.
buddy Torlife actually goes by the name Beastmaster, and I still haven't seen the movie.
That's great. If you loved ripped, greased up men, Brian, you'll love it.
Well, who doesn't? And speaking of someone who doesn't, Omniscient Android, the GameCat.
Defenseless agent. What was this?
Omniscient Android, the GameCat.
Hey.
Bing. Every time I see the word Android, I can't help but think, and I know this is dumb because I use it everywhere, but always Radiohead.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay,
I was hoping you were going to
Always.
say that.
Yeah.
Paranoid Android.
Yep.
It's my favorite tune on that. Well, almost, I think, out of all of the tunes.
It might be one of my favorites too.
There's only one Android for me.
I know.
That is Data.
And then finally,
Hot Cakes, the cheat.
I
Hot
want to hear how you
cakes.
say this.
Hot Cakes, the cheating game catosaurus.
You kind of have to separate it. You
Yeah.
can't say game
Catosaurus.
cathosaurus.
Because that starts sounding like catheter, which I don't think is what they intended.
I don't think so
No.
at all. Yep. So thank you guys. If you do happen to change your name to GameCat, don't make me work for it. Put hashtag GameCat, all one word, in the comments so I can find you easily. At least half of these people didn't do that.
No.
Now I'm just wondering here. Isn't there a delay? You can only change your name so many times.
Not
It
a-
seems
not-
like they got rid of
I
that.
think it's a regional thing.
Ah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it seems like some people are able to do it every single day, hotcakes,
Right.
and some
Hotcakes
people
is-
are like
yeah.
once a month or once every
Yeah.
couple months.
Because my daughter was telling me, and she's now the YouTube expert. You can change your name like 4 times.
who
and
am
I know.
Yeah. Okay, your daughter's hired.
What's as far as like changing name?
Next week's
changing names,
Desir's daughter, right here.
Oh no.
I can
Oh,
I
no,
can
no,
just sleep through the morning.
And duct tape
She's not ready for you.
right
people.
here.
Oh wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow.
What?
He said it. I didn't say a word.
No,
Well, I
no.
was-
So like, we wouldn't hear what he was saying.
Yeah,
on
bad
her.
words.
Oh,
Yes.
totally different than I was happening right here. All right, every week on Viewer Takeover.
This is why she's never coming on the podcast.
We scour the videos, we scour the comments for the hashtag Viewer Takeover. Again, all one
It's a
word.
thing.
If you want your comment or your question read on Viewer Takeover, the best thing to do is put hashtag Viewer Takeover. Surprisingly few this week, so I actually took more that we can give shorter answers to.
Okay,
Okay.
Instead of fewer that we give longer answers to.
makes sense.
All right, well, I'm going to start up right here with Trey Thacker, the Game Cat.
Meow.
He writes on a Fisherman's Tale first impression video, and I like this. Hashtag Viewer Takeover, hashtag it's still a thing.
Yep.
Let's go behind the scenes at PlayStation VR without Parole. There's nothing back there.
No.
This is it.
And get some info on things from the reviewer perspective and put y'all on the spot for a few as well.
Excellent use of y'all.
Y'all.
Thank you.
Yep, I like all y'all.
All y'all.
All y'all.
Y'all is fantastic.
It's very universal. As reviewers, you obviously form a relationship of some kind with the devs in order to get review keys. I'm not sure how much attention they pay, or if it's just you say, I want to review your game on YouTube, and they fork it over. But the question is, if you give a thumbs down review, how does that affect your future abilities to review with that dev? Do they see it as constructive criticism, feedback they can use, an error in judgment letting you review the game, or do they even watch or care? Do you ever get developer feedback or comments about reviews you do on their games?
Yes. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can answer yes to every one of those questions. It depends on the developer.
Well, yeah, I think he's probably looking for a little more insight.
Probably.
I could be wrong. Maybe Trey's happy with the word yes.
Yeah.
And then we all move along.
I wanted shorter answers.
Okay. I'm going to say, as the person who's probably reviewed the most games for this
Yeah.
channel, and by
Yeah.
probably I mean definitely, it comes in all forms. I have to say that I can't think of a developer that's been mean. That's been like, what the hell? I can't believe you did this.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. Because I think most developers have that person that's like meant to deal with our side of things.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're the community manager. They're the PR person, and very often there are PR people that are not even associated with the company themselves. Like when I tried to get an Ace Combat 7 review key, thanks a fucking lot, Bandai Namco, didn't get that. They dealt with a company called 47.com.
Right.
Okay.
And so like it was a totally separate PR company that just handles this kind of stuff, and so they separate themselves from this altogether.
Okay.
More often, especially with PlayStation VR, it's a different story because we're dealing with smaller companies.
Right.
A lot of like startups, a lot of like teams that are 10 people or less, and so we deal with very often not only their community manager, but also people that are actually making the game, like some of the developers, designers, who are just kind of doubling down as doing different jobs.
Yeah.
So to answer the question, I mean it's. I think you guys see about as much as we do, to be honest. I think in the comments, you'll see the developers post stuff like, thanks for the nice review,
Yeah.
or hey, thanks for the review, here's a few things we want to add.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, like their perspective of the things that we criticized. So it's
But then on the plus side, you have people, like the developer of Cold Iron, whose name escapes me. They were like, yeah, you know what? We saw your criticisms.
what the fuck is that name?
Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry, guys.
Yeah, me too.
And they basically said, you know what? You were right. Here's a patch that fixes all that.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best of all possible worlds.
Yeah.
And, well, obviously, a perfect game coming out perfectly on launch would be the best. But for them to say, okay, we'll release this thing, And for us as a community to say, your thing is a little broken, and then to come back and say, you know what, you were right. Here we are fixing it for
Catch and release.
Catch and release, yes.
Yeah, they're awesome. Everybody's actually been really awesome. Even the people that like don't agree with our reviews. Like I just have a fairly negative review on Megalith.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that, without getting into the whole, well, it's a MOBA, so you shouldn't expect it to be good at launch. It's kind of what people were saying. Right.
I wish other media worked like that.
Yeah, me
yeah,
too.
really.
It's like, we released this movie this weekend. Yeah, I know it's not great, but wait till 3 weeks from now.
Here's
Wait
an
till
album.
the director's cut comes out on Blu-ray. It'll be great. I
Yeah,
promise.
really.
Right?
Well, actually,
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Even that was a pretty negative review, saying basically telling people don't buy this game until they're done fixing it,
Yeah.
right, or updating it, or patching it, or whatever. And they pretty much sent me a tweet immediately, or DM'd me immediately, and like, hey, thanks for your honest feedback. You know, here are the updates we have planned. Please keep your community informed.
great.
You know, and I was like, that's cool. Every so often, you find something a little bit more negative, but again, that's usually in the comments for everyone to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not a whole lot happening behind the scenes here, except for a lot of coffee and pizza.
Coffee and, open the door.
I'd
That's
say,
pretty
yeah,
much it.
devs do criticism just like everybody else does. Some people take it honestly and like, hey, and I think it's part of, I think we talked a couple weeks ago about there's a difference between constructive criticism that's useful, that's actionable, and you suck.
Yep.
Right. And we try to stay away from you suck. And I think developers kind of respond to that better too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, any good developer, too, is going to take the feedback as there is something wrong and to fix it. Where were we just hearing that? Or I was hearing it on something I was listening to, where a developer...
Did you really want help with this? Where did I hear that? Maybe it was something I was listening to.
Yeah, it could have been elsewhere.
Might have been us.
Probably
But
elsewhere.
when feedback is, hey, there's something wrong with this portion, then there is. There's something clearly wrong.
Yeah.
And I think a good developer will take the criticism and try to adjust it, because they're going to be like, no, you guys are handling it wrong. This is the game. Then it's not going to sell. So, I mean...
Yeah. And also, I think most developers are gamers as well.
Right.
Yeah,
And
it
so
certainly seems it.
when they put out a game, they know if it's good or not.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're just like, well, we have to push it out because either the publisher's making us or we're broke now.
They're way
And-
more
and-
honest
and we-
about what happens behind the scenes for them a lot of times now, too.
And that's what I love about this whole developer interview series, is that like I finally get to ask what the hell is going on.
All the questions we've always wondered,
Like so far, it's been Apex Construct and
Wizards.
the Wizards.
The Wizards,
Obviously, I haven't played the Wizards yet, but like two pretty respected games.
Yeah.
I can't wait to talk to like maybe the people who made Boxing Apocalypse.
Yeah.
I'd be like, tell me the fucking story behind this.
Please redeem yourself.
But kind of on topic, you're up, Asia.
So we have a question from Tristan Russello on the Kingdom of Blades review.
Hey.
I've been watching this channel lately, thank you, and have found a couple of good games thanks to it, but also found some crap ones recommended by this channel.
Oh, shit.
Has anyone ever heard a negative review on this channel or a mediocre review? Is everything good? If it's biased sponsored content, I'm unsubscribing.
Oh.
And you know what? You would be right to do that if it was.
Yeah, agreed.
We haven't heard that comment in a very long time.
Yeah.
So we for a while we had a reputation on Reddit and a few other different social media platforms that we were too positive about games.
Yeah.
And it made me think. I mean, like, are we too positive? And I've gone through our review process over and over and over, saying, well, why do people think we're too positive?
Yeah.
And it's because we don't do the thing that other YouTubers do. We don't look at a game and go, oh, Paper Dolls has this stupid form of locomotion and click turning. I'm not going to play it. This game sucks, period.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to spend 6 to 12 hours with that game and then tell you, all right, yeah, this element sucks, but you know what? If you get over that, look what else you might find.
Yeah.
And I'm finding that games that I would, if I wasn't reviewing them,
Yeah.
if I just spent 5-10 minutes with it, if I bought it and was like, oh, I don't think I want to spend time with this, I'd be like, yeah, this sucks. But because I'm reviewing it, I feel as though I'm, it's, I don't want to call it Stockholm Syndrome because it's not. But if you are stuck playing something for like 5, 10, 12 hours, like you're going to eventually find the good in it.
Yeah.
Right? So I think the reason we're so positive is because we want to tell people as much about the game as possible.
Right.
And very few games have very little going for them.
Well, I think more my aspect of everything is watching the reviews. I haven't done any reviews.
One of these days I'm going to make you.
It'd be interesting. My attention span it would take 7 months. So anyways, though, from watching your reviews and now also Des following suit, the way that it's presented is very, you dig and you try to find the good and see if the bad is overshadowing the good. You're trying to find the good out of the game. You're not putting a number on it, and you're not giving unless it's terribly broken or incredibly great, you're not telling people to not buy it or to rush out and buy it. You're just stating what the game does well and what it doesn't do well, and then the control schemes, and boom. You know what I mean?
The hope is that we're helping people decide for themselves.
Their own
instead
decisions.
Instead of telling them what to do.
Instead of back in the day where, whatever...
GamePro gives it a 1 out of 5 or something.
And you based purchases off of that number.
Yep.
Oh, this dude who played it didn't like it. I'm not buying it. Yeah. And you might fucking love it. So I think the style of reviews that is presented on this channel, that is done and written by you both, I think is awesome. I think it's very, neutral, and you're finding the good before finding the bad.
I think it comes from two. I think that for me personally, I can't speak for everyone. It's two main threads. One, we're super positive on VR.
That helps.
And that colors everything.
Yeah.
And I'll be the first to admit that is my bias. It's like, okay, because this is in VR already, I'm interested, I'm more engaged than I would be. And two, I think one thing that I try to keep center most, especially since we're dealing with a lot of indie developers, is this is hard.
Yeah.
Making a game is really freaking hard.
Yeah.
And I don't want to trash all over someone's hard work just because I didn't like the color scheme on the main character.
Yeah.
And so we've talked, I think, ad nauseum about the fact that one of the kind of downsides of this job is if I like a game, it's super easy. This is amazing. Boom. But if I don't like a game, I really want to, like Brian says, put the homework in, figure out why is it that I don't like this game? What is it that, is there anything redeemable about it? Or as going back to my Beats Fever, yes. Beats Fever review is like, is there something wrong with how I'm playing it? Yeah. And those are all things we have to keep in mind. So in general, that might come out as, oh, we like everything, but good God, we do not.
Right, like Beats Fever has a lot going for it.
But there's a lot of negative, too.
Yeah. But it's like, it's a very average game, and I think you did a great job of presenting, hey, if this is your style of game, you're probably going to like a lot of what it's doing.
Yeah.
But I think just by watching the review, people can figure that out by themselves and go, oh, look how this game plays. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Right. And just to follow up on the actual question in the comments, I told Tristan, I was like, if for whatever reason you're not sold on this channel and you think that we love everything, go check out the following reviews: Arca's Path.
Yes.
Siren. Torn. Blind. Blind is more middle of the road.
Yeah.
Never Out. Again, kind of middle of the road. Gungrave VR.
Yeah.
Guns and Stories. VR Apocalypse, and then of course Boxing Apocalypse, which I hated so much I couldn't even review. I let the Let's Play speak for itself. And that's 10 right off the bat. Like that I didn't even have to go search old videos. I was like, here's a bunch of games we just didn't like.
Yeah.
All right, you're up, Asia.
Blah Baloo.
That's a good name.
Yeah.
It is nice.
From Viewer Takeover. Hashtag Viewer Takeover. Great as always. You are my fave PSVR channel.
Oh, you're our fave PSVR channel watcher. That's not true. We
That's
love you
named Blah Baloo.
Yes, you're our favorite Baloo.
Is that a fish?
I don't
Blah
know.
Baloo. Baloo, like Baloo the bear.
Well, that's with two O's.
Jungle.
Yeah, there's two O's though. BAL.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Jungle
Book.
Why was I thinking Jungle King? I was like, I couldn't get the
Jungle
word book.
King.
Also Tailspin.
The Lizard King, Mr. Morrison, but I don't know who the Jungle King. Where are we?
I don't know.
What is your opinion on upgrading from a normal PS4 to a Pro? Hey, this question again. My only reason to do so would be better VR graphics. Do you think it makes sense? That is asked countless times.
This is kind of where the rapid fire questions begin.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say yes. If you are a fan of VR, it's at this point not a necessary upgrade, but a substantial upgrade. With some games being a much bigger upgrade than others, as Des found out this week.
Yes.
But the other part of that answer for me is we haven't seen a price drop on the Pro.
No.
It's been $400 since launch.
Yeah.
So any moment now, you just know there's going to be a price drop for PS4 proper and for PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
So like if you've waited this long, I might wait a couple more months
Yeah.
and then grab it maybe for $100 cheaper. If money's no object, you should already own a Pro.
Yeah, if money was no object, I would have gotten one, but I just whatever.
Yeah, I can tell by watching your RE7 stream. You like the whole foveated rendering. It's like really low resolution on the outskirts. But
Can you even like?
you can tell on the stream.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean, especially compared to I've played the game 3 times now.
That's true, yeah.
So I know this game inside out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can definitely tell.
I don't want that game to look any more real or terrifying. I'm all set.
All right.
Did you have an answer?
I'm in the same boat. I mean, I would, if I had the means, I would absolutely upgrade to one, but I don't, so I don't.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. I think I'm up. Vigo V writes on the Dick Wild PSVR review discussion. Ooh, it's a long one for a short answer. One thing the World VR sorely needs, IMO, is per game recommendations for player and camera position. Case 1, I was about to hate the guts of Moss until I heard you guys mention that the camera should be placed low, opposite of any advice I'd heard up to that point. Good job, us.
Yeah.
Case 2, I just bought Floor Plan. Good job, great game. And I couldn't find any tips online, so I can A, leave my setup in seated, and most likely need to reconfigure or reconfigure first with a risk of needing to reconfigure. Did I read that right? This is one of the annoyances that makes me choose flat gaming or even Netflix way too often. And one of the could be solved as simple as publishing a list. Oh, and all the love in the world to you guys for keeping the PSVR fire lit.
Hey.
Yeah, I think Vigo is exactly right. There are so many games where it's just like changing the camera placement makes a huge difference in its playability. Yeah, and it's it's something we probably should pay a little more attention to in our reviews. I mean, I know, like, I kind of said it half jokingly, but I'm going to be probably getting a light stand or a tripod in Studio B and put the camera on that so I can actually just
I've
pick
been
it up
wanting
and drop
to do
it.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, because it does. Yeah, Moss, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Like, if you have the camera up high, I'm not saying it's unplayable, but it's really difficult versus, games like Spark and Beat Saber where you want that guy way up high.
Yeah.
So
Very, very seldom do I beat the drum of we need to make the developers do more shit.
yeah.
But in this case, every single time you start up a VR game, how many times is it like, oh, okay, I mean, every time you have to set up the camera, so you have to see yourself in the camera, make sure there's nothing in the way, right? So you already have to see that screen, and on top of that, a lot of games go, hey, hold the options button right now to do the camera reset.
Yeah.
How come at that point, nowhere in this point, at the beginning of a game, does it say, this is the optimal position for your camera placement?
Right.
Yeah.
Why? Like, developers, like, you developed the game, tell us where to put the fucking camera.
And when it's developed.
Or just floor adjust. Just like, I mean, there are so few games that give you the option to do a floor adjust.
That's absolutely true.
And I find, like, I've been, in my non-reviewing time, I've been still playing my way through Borderlands, which tells you how much reviewing time I've been spending. I guess I'm still playing the main campaign, but it's like, sometimes I go in and stand or sit or whatever, and just having that option to just go and change the floor depending on how I want to play at that time. Is great,
because it can be awkward. It throws off the perspective when the floor is right here, and you're like, I'm shorter than I really am.
All right, we have 5 minutes to answer
5 minutes,
more
okay.
questions.
Virtual Chef Game Cat. Yay! From Ace Combat First Impressions. # viewer takeover. Hey, you fine fellows, just seen your Ace Combat video. Do you think maybe they can/will port the rest of the non-VR content into VR? You guys rule. Meow. No.
Meow.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do it.
Nope.
No.
Personally, I don't think they're gonna do it. But the thing is yes, anything can be done in VR. I keep saying this over and over and over. People on Facebook are like, well, here's the reason, because numbers, and they start talking about resolutions and frame rates and shit. Anything can be done in VR. It's just how much resolution and how much everything you're willing to sacrifice to make it happen.
Yeah.
Anything can be done in VR. And so
Chess.
Sure. And so the short answer is yes, they can. No, they probably won't because it doesn't make financial sense for them. They would have made the entire game in VR if it made financial sense for them.
Mm-hmm.
That's my answer.
I mean, we could just look at it as dipping their toes into the VR pool, and it was positive what everybody said about it, and I can't wait to try it. Phew.
I can't wait to see Jeremy read this name.
I can't wait either. You're up.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Burr Cat 3 hours ago.
Oh,
No,
he jumped ahead.
You skipped
Oh.
He cheated.
That one. Oh, yeah, because I read that before the show. Nebophorion.
Sure.
Anyways, Astrobot
With
Rescue
minutes to
Mission
spare.
review. Games like this are only 3D, not VR. They look good, but you can't call them VR.
This is why I turned them down.
They're the same. Well, they are the same. They're the same. It's incorrect. There's no grammar either. The same as any other reg 3D player game, just with some depth, in my opinion. Not a real VR experience, but still great graphics.
He barely spelt any of the words right, and you're correcting his grammar?
So, VR is not just first person.
No.
That's not what VR means.
Yeah,
No.
VR means virtual reality. It means you're overlapping, you're giving your eyes an image of a reality that does not exist.
Yes.
And that can mean any type of gameplay. And I think Astrobot is a perfect example to those
great.
people who say, like, VR has to be first person. No, it does not. You feel like you're in a fully realized world. But there is an important distinction there. There's a difference between 3D VR video and just 360 VR video.
Totally.
That's a huge distinction. That's not the distinction you're making, but that's one I want to point out.
Yeah.
Chernobyl, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, those 360 videos were not only 360, but they were also very low res.
Yeah.
So we just want to make sure everyone's on the same page here. Is that like VR is basically like, hey, here's a brand new console, and here's a new way of looking at something. Instead of it being on a TV, it's now
Around
in your face,
you.
and you are inside that game world.
Yeah.
The perspective can be anything, and I'm looking forward very much to seeing what other developers do.
Yeah.
First person and third person, strangely not the only options.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, and finally, it's me, right?
Yes.
Burbercat wrote on, and I just love this comment. He wrote on the Jeremy Plays RE7 video. He wrote, the one thing I could never get to work with RE7. The Baker family were just normal people before it all went tits up for them. Spoilers. And presumably the four of them just lived in that small house. So why and when did they have an even bigger house built on the end of the smaller house with all this overly complicated weird shit going on with the dogs' heads and crow keys? Mia only went missing 3 previous years ago. How would the Bakers even have been able to afford all this crap and built it in such a small space of time?
I'm telling you. I was wondering the same thing as I was going through their belongings last night.
I was just going to say, have you played games before?
Right?
Because, that's just...
Also, I don't know how long... I'm not sure if they mentioned this in the game, even though I've played it tons of times. Did they say how long the virus had been going? Like, because that house is really run down.
It's gross.
Like, I haven't cleaned in about 3 years, but my walls are still
Nowhere
intact.
near the Baker.
You know?
Yeah, but if you leave the windows open in some place like Louisiana Swamp, it's not going to take long to get everything all mildewed and
Okay,
nasty
yeah,
like
that's
that.
true.
Yeah.
Totally different environment, for sure.
This has a lot of decay, although the lattice work in the basement wasn't decayed along the dirt.
I died when you started talking about the lattice work. You're like, lattice work is so expensive. And I'm like,
It
what?
is.
It's the strangest comment I've ever seen during a live stream.
I'm just a couple years ago when we were house hunting and on a very low budget, we saw a lot of houses that had been abandoned for 6 months to a year, and
Doesn't take long.
Doesn't take long.
Okay.
No.
All right, well, then I feel a little bit better about my living situation.
Yeah,
But as far as the
Oh.
complicated puzzles and all that, that's just that's just a puzzle game.
It's
You
a
just have
Resident Evil game.
That's Resident Evil too, yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
The dude must have been an engineer, clearly, because he's definitely socially awkward in a sense, and he has money to buy and upgrade this home, and he has little weird trinkets to get into certain rooms.
I like that the game is self-aware, though. At one point early on, I think it's right after you solve the first shadow puzzle.
Yeah.
The door opens up, like the secret passage, and the guy, your character, who very seldom talks during the game, he goes, "Who built this place?" Again, it's just like, oh, you are self-aware. You are totally get what's going on here.
Yeah.
All right, that pretty much does it for another episode of Viewer Takeover, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to. Oh my God. We didn't thank the Patreon supporters.
Oh my goodness.
So that list has been going down there the whole time. Thank you guys so much for all your Patreon support. If you want to support us on Patreon, please go to patreon.com/withoutparole.
Games.
And give us $1 or more every month. We will eternally be in your debt. Well, I mean, not a lot, just $1 a month. Yeah. And also make sure you, if you want to introduce next week's Viewer Takeover, send your Viewer Takeover introduction to withoutparole@gmail.com. If you want to ask a Viewer Takeover question, make sure you put #Viewer Takeover in the comments.
Yes.
And then also, if you happen to change your name to GameCat to show us how much you love us, the same as we love you, make sure you put hashcat. It's a new thing. #hashcat in the comments.
He was
you ever
almost
just,
at
like,
Micro Machine level.
look at your fur?
Yeah.
The coffee's finally kicking in.
Yeah.
We love you all. All right, check 1, check 2, check 1, check 2, check. Holy crap, I'm loud because I'm loud.
Yeah, you're a little loud.